All right. All right. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Clerk Kornecki, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Davis.
Here.
Trustee Aiello. Trustee Volpes. Trustee Taglia.
Here.
Trustee Case.
Here.
Trustee Wagner.
Here.
President Bullwinkle.
Here. If you could all please rise for the pledge. Sid, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Due with proper respect to the flag, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to ask everybody to stay standing for just a second. And Trustee Tagley, would you please lead us in a prayer?
Certainly. Our Heavenly Father, will thou be pleased to grant that this meeting, thus begun in order, be conducted in peace and closed in harmony. Amen.
Right. Item number 3 on the Committee of Whole agenda, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam President,
Trustee Taglia.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Madam President,
Trustee Wagner.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Questions and comments from the board? All right, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Item number 4, consider a resolution authorizing an agreement for mandatory and wellness physicals with Elmhurst Memorial Hospital of Elmhurst, Illinois. Manager Keener?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, welcome.
Annually, the village offers mandatory and voluntary physicals to fire, parks, public works, and other full-time and regular part-time employees. The physicals comply with OSHA, respirator requirements, fire, NFPA 1500 standards, and to the village wellness program. Elmhurst Memorial Healthcare Occupational Health Services has offered to do on-site and off-site testing and physicals. It is recommended the village approve the quote, which includes mandatory physicals at a cost of $11,498 and voluntary subsidized $25 per employee, testing and physicals for $2,525 for a total cost of $14,023. Adequate funds have been budgeted from fire, parks, PW, and central service budgets. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Questions and comments from the public on this item? Okay, please approach the podium. State your name for the record.
My name is Cheryl Tucker,
Okay.
434 South Cornell.
Yes.
My question is, are not these physicals covered in the health plan from the village?
Manager Keener?
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to introduce our Human Resource Coordinator, Janet Gorman. Janet's been asking me all day if she could talk this evening.
Yes.
And,
Yes, please.
and I said,
She might
it'd be-
answer. You're right. She might answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, there's 2 parts to this equation. One is basically the mandatory physicals, which are compelled by OSHA. So under OSHA, we're supposed to offer and pay for certain coverages. And then the fire department takes that a step further for their employees because of their high risk of exposure as paramedics. They also follow what they call NFPA 1500, which is a standard for firefighters. And those physicals are actually more rigorous than what they would get under our health insurance benefits. So that's why we offer them, we try to offer them on site for part of it, so we can reduce some of the cost for these benefits. And then we also have them go see our occupational health people at Elmhurst Hospital, so that we can keep track from year to year how are our firefighters doing, how fit are they, and the same with the respiratory protection for our public works employees. So these are a little bit more rigorous than what they would on a voluntary basis get as part of a physical. The $25 subsidy, which is really a pretty nominal amount that we offer to the rest of the employees, is really to try and encourage them basically to get a flu shot, because that's about what the cost of a flu shot is. So yes, they could go and get them through their own provider, but we like to try and encourage, because so many of our employees are in the customer service area, so they have a high exposure. Also, quite a few deal with money and cash and, just that people contact, that this is our way for $25 to just basically say, hey, we want to make sure that you guys don't get the flu so that we can still have you come to work. But yes, they're not obligated in that case to actually go get their flu shots from their own doctors. So it's just part of a health and wellness program. Now, starting next year, Elmhurst Hospital is actually merging with Edwards Hospital. So we're sort of, interested in seeing how that's going to work out. Actually, in July they signed an agreement, but they haven't actually increased our cost this year. Actually, they haven't increased them for the past 3 years. So basically, that's what we're looking at. And of course, with healthcare reform coming in 2014, we are also encouraged to offer some of these health and wellness programs over and above what we offer through our benefit plans. So hopefully that answered your question. They are, but for some of these things, they're not necessarily covered unless they go get a referral from their doctor. And so in order to try and make sure that each of our firefighter and or public works employees are qualified, we are offering them on site. It's actually less expensive for us. We either pay through the premiums through the health insurance, or we're going to pay directly to try and encourage them to go. So it's a cost for us on either side of it.
So the wellness program doesn't cover that isn't part of the insurance?
It's not part of our regular insurance. No, that's something that we would have to tell them. You have to go to your own doctor to do it. So, and one of the reasons that over the years that we didn't do that is because we really wanted to keep the results of these testing within an occupational health environment. Those doctors are specifically trained to know what these standards are for NFPA 1500 and for OSHA. If they go to their own internist or their own doctor, they may not be familiar with what is actually required under these other regulations. So again, we have these competing regulations where it says we are compelled to pay, and then we also have our health insurance program. At some point in time, if there isn't a problem with an employee, they get referred back to their own doctor for any kind of follow-up. We're really just doing these initial screenings according to these regulations. Maybe that's kind of answers your question too. So, okay.
Cheryl, I need you to stand up and.
No, they're not required, but they are. We
Jenny,
are
could you
required.
repeat I'm sorry. Could you repeat
She
the
said,
question?
are they required by law to have these standards? We are required to pay for them to have it. So in either way, if they go to their own internist versus our occupational health, we would have to pay. We don't have control of that cost. So in the past, we've always offered these physicals through our occupational health people, usually at Elmhurst Hospital, because we're better able to control the cost of that. Now, the NFPA 100 is an additional benefit that's offered to firefighters because firefighters have a whole different rigorous physical conditioning that they have to be able to wear a respirator. So in this case, that's why. So it's not that it's not covered under their benefits, and at some point, once we get through the initial screening, they would then be referred over to their own doctor. But we would like to keep it within the occupational health group because those people are specialists in the kind of work that our employees are undertaking. So I think that explains, hopefully.
Any other questions and comments from the public before we go to the board? All right.
Okay.
That question is, for your
Cheryl, come to the podium.
These are the standards,
for
right?
their job standards.
Right.
Are they not required to have these physicals up to date to be a
Okay.
firefighter and thing on their standards?
No,
That
okay.
we're not paying it
This
twice?
This isn't like a school where you have to have a physical before you start. They have a physical when they enter, and then there are NFPA standards. We have our employees, and we have in the past, required them to have these mandatory physicals, which the village then pays for the initial screening up to a certain point, at which point if there's a problem with the employee, they're then referred on to their internist or on to a cardiologist or whoever it is. But in the initial stages, the NFPA 1500, we have decided in our particular municipality that we want to follow that standard. Therefore, they have to go through this testing, which is pretty rigorous testing, over and above what they would have under their health insurance regular benefit program. So I think that's where I'm coming from, so.
Okay, so those are standards we set
Those
up for
are
the
standards that
village
are
for
actually
them?
set up by the NFPA, which is the fire standard. So they're actually a separate regulatory agency
I understand that. Those are
So,
standards set up
that
by
we
the
have adopted, yes,
that we
correct.
adopted, but they are
Correct.
required from the fire department to follow those.
Yes,
So we're paying
Correct.
for the test for them to keep fit.
correct, because we want fit firefighters, so,
It's important.
okay.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Questions and comments from the board then? Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, Madam President. Just for my own information, I read the information here, but I don't quite understand why police are not part of this. I know that, I understand the part about firefighters wearing respirators, et cetera, and the NFPA, but Public Works employees and Parks employees don't wear respirators, and so I guess a question about that.
All right, police officers do not wear a respirator, that they are required to have this kind of testing under occupational health testing, okay? So therefore, we don't include that in this particular mandatory physicals. That would have to be something that would have to be collectively bargained
Okay.
if we were going to do that, and so we do not collectively bargain for that particular. Now, they have to pass a rigorous physical before they can be hired onto the department. And then from that period on, they don't have the same kind of regulations that firefighters have. Firefighters have a very strict national program under the NFPA 1500. So that's basically why they're not included in the mandatory testing. Our Public Works and Parks employees are included because they have to wear respirators in some of their positions, including like application of pesticides, some of the people who work with the chlorine involved with your water systems. There's a number of different reasons why they would have to pass it. Their particular physical is not as rigorous as the fire department, but the OSHA still says, hey, employer, and this is a federal regulation, we want you to have these people tested before you can put a respirator on them. And so that's why we go through this testing program every year to make sure that the individuals are actually qualified.
Thank you.
Okay?
Any other questions? Trustee Case.
Have we shopped this around?
Yes, we went out to the market. We have two other groups that were willing to give us a quote. Elmhurst was again the lowest quote. It was Alexian Brothers this year and Good Samaritan Hospital. There were a couple other people we had gone to last year, but they're no longer in the market of doing that. And as I said, we're hoping next year, because Elmhurst is now merged with Edwards Hospital, that we may even get some better pricing in the future. So.
Anybody else on the board? Okay. Roll call vote.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Item number 5 on the Committee of the Whole. Consider a resolution approving a covenant regarding non-standard pavement in village right-of-way and/or easement with property owner at 1030 North Princeton Avenue to allow construction of a brick paver driveway apron within public right-of-way. Manager Keener?
Thank you, Your Honor. The property owner at 1030 North Princeton Avenue wishes to install a brick paver driveway approach in public right-of-way. A covenant regarding non-standard pavement in village right-of-way and/or easement would grant the property owner permission for the proposed construction and address maintenance responsibilities. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Any questions and comments from the public in regards to this agenda item? Questions and comments from the board? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Item number 6, consider a resolution authorizing Halloween trick-or-treat hours. Manager Keener?
Thank you, Your Honor. The village board has historically passed by resolution a time and date for children to participate in Halloween trick-or-treating. Halloween can be a potentially problematic time for the community. By adopting this resolution, a uniform time is recommended for the event, thereby allowing the police department to increase patrol for the purpose of protecting the children who are participating in the Halloween festivities, as well as to protect the community from vandalism that can be associated with the Halloween holiday. It is recommended that the village board adopt by resolution the official trick-or-treat hours of 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Thursday, October 31st, 2013. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any questions and comments from the public about this item? Questions and comments from the board? Okay. I just have one really quick question. This information will be on the village website?
Correct.
Probably under headlines on the homepage, www.invillapark.com. All right. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes?
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Paglia.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Okay, item number 7, convene to formal agenda. I'll move right along here. Okay. Item number 1, village president's report. First item under the agenda is a presentation of the Spirit Awards by the Villa Park Pride Commission. Who's gonna, okay, yes, please come forward.
I always draw the small straw. Okay. No,
Glad to see
I
you
say
tonight.
that in jest because this is actually my favorite awards to give is the Spirit Awards.
And if you could identify yourself for the
Diane
record.
Blair Sherlock from the Community Pride Commission. We also have Alicia Bailey from the Pride Commission, Shannon Sherlock, who is a junior commissioner, Carol Davis, who's also on the Pride Commission, and Jeannie Nicholson, who is our longest timer on the Pride Commission. We're here to... Oh, and Al. Al was hiding. Al Stash also.
Okay,
He's
Al.
the muscle of the Community Pride Commission.
He's hiding in the corner over here.
Yes, we love Al. But anyhow, and Al is the epitome of the type of person that we look to for these type of awards. Al volunteers on a lot of things, as do all the recipients tonight. What makes a community great? The people who come out and just out of the goodness of their hearts give their time and effort to make the community a better place, to beautify it, to help their neighbors, to put on events that otherwise we wouldn't be able to put on. And we are blessed in this town with many, many wonderful people who come out and volunteer all the time and volunteer repeatedly. And I am so happy and pleased to be able to present these Spirit Awards tonight to volunteer members of our community. We're going to go a little out of order from the agenda. A bunch of reasons, won't go into it. And afterwards, if the recipients could hang out, we'd like to get some pictures outside with them as well, okay? And we're going to have different people present different awards. I am lucky enough to present the first one to somebody that I just have so much respect and admiration for, and that is Judy Degnan. Judy is a person who will strive to be and is well deserving of the Community Spirit Award. Over the years, Judy has volunteered countless hours, giving blood, sweat, and tears to make a difference in Villa Park. Judy has been involved in and coached or chaired Villa Park Youth Sports, the PTA, and boosters, from Ardmore Elementary through Willowbrook High School. She has quite the brood, so she spans all the schools. I was lucky enough, we have kids around the same age, to do some stuff with Judy at Ardmore, and she was always there to lend a hand. She's a tireless and relentless parent and community servant who not only cares about her own children, but the welfare of so many others in our schools and community. In fact, Judy now serves on the District 45 board with the highest number of votes in Villa Park to lead and make a difference for the future and well-being of our children. You see Judy everywhere. She's one of those people you really need to know, although she's probably going to leave you alone. She doesn't look for the attention. She does it because she knows that it needs to be done. Somebody has to do it, and it gives her a good feeling. She's confident, smart, determined, focused, and an independent thinker who comes up with ideas, programs, and provides solutions to inspire our community and schools to become leaders, and will recruit those around her who share the same goals in her mission. It's really hard to say no to Judy. She's positive, persuasive, and persistent in her determination to make her mark and courage. And She encourages everyone to feel the passion for Villa Park as much as she does. I actually remember when Judy was first moving to Villa Park, and she was so excited, and we were excited to have her come. Judy truly deserves the honor of the Villa Park Spirit Awards. And Judy, if you could come up here with a couple of your kids. This was a submission, and would you like to say something?
Thank you. I'm honored and flattered. I was not expecting this, didn't know about it, and I feel honored to get it, so thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I'll let Lisa do so.
I don't think I see him tonight, but the next award goes to Don Murphy. Don Murphy, who owns and operates the Rec Room, is a perfect example of an honest, hardworking, and generous man who is proud of his business and community and deserves to be considered for the Villa Park Community Pride Commission Spirit Award. Don grew up in Villa Park, raised his family in Villa Park, and established a successful business in Villa Park almost 30 years ago. Don is a man committed to making our community a better place to live, work, and shop. He supports and donates thousands of dollars to every single community event, such as the 4th of July Parade, Summerfest, Swing and Sizzle, Oktoberfest, our Villa Park youth sports teams, and numerous charities and clubs. Don also donates his small amount of free time to volunteer. He served as the president of the Villa Park Chamber of Commerce for many years and was the advocate and voice of our small business community. He is admired and respected as a small businessman trying to earn an honest living while giving back to the community he cares so much about. Don is a man of his word. He says what he means and means what he says. You can count on Don to follow through with his promises, whether it's a pledge to an organization or a customer. He always exceeds expectations. Don Murphy is a valuable asset to Villa Park, and we should honor him with a distinguished title of one of the Spirit Award winners who lives up to the criteria of someone who exudes community pride. And I will get this to Don. Well, this next person is long overdue for this award, Carol Marcus. Carol Marcus is passionate for preservation, not only here in Villa Park, but DuPage County and the state of Illinois as well. Carol has been a resident and volunteer for many, many years. Let's just say Carol remembers taking the Chicago Aurora and Elgin Railroad into Chicago from the Ardmore train station as a young girl. Wow. Carol is now retired, but busier than ever with her volunteer projects. She serves as the president of the DuPage and Villa Park Historical Societies and is president of the Villa Park Historical Preservation Commission, along with numerous clubs and organizations. Carol is a wealth of knowledge about the history of Villa Park and an advocate for the future of our village. She created and produced a brochure for local realtors to promote Villa Park. More than just a village, it's a place called home. Carol never runs out of creative ideas to come up with fresh ways to keep our residents engaged and excited as she is about Villa Park. Carol never seeks to take credit for all she does. Instead, she is the first one up here to give credit to everyone else. You see her at these village board meetings, often awarding plaques and certificates to others and thanking them for a job well done, and publicly thanking our businesses who sponsor all of these events. Carol is someone you can always count on to pitch in and is the first one to step up to help out. Carol puts her heart and soul into every project she takes on. I believe Carol deserves to finally get the credit for everything she does. I want her to know how much we all appreciate what she does for Villa Park and the people who live here, shop here, and play here.
The next award goes to Sam and Marianne Greco. When Sam and Marianne Greco moved to Villa Park 9 years ago, they jumped at the opportunity to get involved in their newfound community. After their first encounter with neighbors and community groups, they knew they had found a home in Villa Park. They put their heart and soul into making a difference for all of us who have lived here before them, as well as welcoming new residents. Marianne has spent countless hours on cable television, capturing events and moments that make us a unique community, in order to bring us together, to keep us together, so that together we can make a difference. Sam has served on the Villa Park Summerfest Commission for 8 years, 3 of those as chairman. His leadership skills, quiet, confident, and calming nature, has led the committee to put on some of the best block parties of any community in the area. He has brought together a generation of old and young, showcasing our local talents. They are both so proud of what Villa Park represents. It is a village of extraordinary people, a village of compassion and camaraderie, a village helping to make a difference, a village looking ahead to make changes happen, a village we can all be proud to call home. I am very proud to nominate Sam and Marianne to receive the Villa Park Spirit Award. They are truly deserving. We as a village are so fortunate to have them.
Thank you.
Okay, so a person nominated 2 people. And if you notice, this, like during the summer, by Jefferson Pool in Iowa, there's a lot of pretty plants and stuff out there. And they've been decorating, because we had the tulip removed, and did a lot of renovation with that. Donna Heinrich nominated Angie Wojak and Chris Podgy for the Villa Pride Award for all the gardening work they have done for the village. They have both donated and coordinated countless hours of landscaping and planting at Iowa and Jefferson Pool. They truly have the best pride in Villa Park. And so we invite Angie and Chris up.
Thank you. Like I said, our cup is overflowing, and it's just so wonderful. And all of our winners tonight were people that were nominated by members of the community. And we encourage you to keep an eye out. We do this every year. You can nominate people for the Spirit Awards all year long, and we're always so happy to read the wonderful stories. It's hard to keep it down. This is not everybody that was nominated, so we really are truly blessed. And we hope to see you soon. Next one is Halloween Decorating Awards.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We appreciate all your efforts for the community. Congratulations. Next up on the agenda, Villa Park Junior Women's Club Trick or Trot 5K Run Walk event. I have Amanda Murphy, the president of the Junior Women's Club, here with us tonight.
Thank you for letting us come out tonight. I wanted to get the word out. The Villa Park Junior Women's Club is hosting the Trick or Trot 5K Run and Little Devil Dash, which is a 1K for kids. It's going to be held on October 26th, which is a Saturday. What we're trying to do is raise money for scholarships for students in the Villa Park community. We try and give out scholarships to women at Willowbrook who are going on to college. So any way you can get out, whether you bring the grandkids to run or you bring yourself and you want to run, we'd love to have you. We're encouraging folks to make sure that they wear a costume or get the kids dressed up. So it should be a lot of fun. If you want to register, you can go to active.com or go to our website at the Villa Park Junior Women's Club, vpjwc.org /Trick or Trot 5K. But if you just go to our website, you'll be able to find that as well. It is $25 for an individual to run. That's before October 1st, $50 for families to run, and $10 for the kids to run. And all the proceeds go towards the scholarship fund, so it's a really great cause. And any businesses out there that would be interested in helping or sponsoring or giving of their time or any other resources, or anyone in the community for that matter, if you want to volunteer, go to the website, shoot us an email. We'd love to have you out. We already have some great supports: Cottage Hill Dental, Fleet Feet, MP360 Financial, McCaffrey, which is the Ovaltine facility, and then Amerisource as well. And Parks and Recs has been a great resource for us so far, as well, getting the word out in the quarterly magazine. So thank you again for letting us share this, and be looking for the signs. And if anybody needs signs for their buildings or offices, let us know. We can get you a sign as well.
Amanda, what's the date again? You want to repeat it one more time?
October 26th.
Okay.
That's a Saturday, and I believe, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but a lot of times they do the trick-or-treating afterwards in the community, if that potentially will be held.
Okay.
Either way, it's fun to get the kids out, get some action and activity, and get to dress up for the Halloween season.
It looks like registration's at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then the
Yes,
5
well, it's great to be able to register early that way. The first 200 runners will get a T-shirt. And, you can certainly come out at 7 a.m. and register and run that day. We're super flexible on that, but then the cost does go up after October 1st. It's $35 for an individual, $60 for a family, and $12 for the kids run. So sign up early, and you can get a shirt and pay a little less. So.
Well, thank you for all of your efforts. You all are everywhere too. So the Junior Women's Club, it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate it. Okay, just have a few more items. Manager Keener, just a couple little updates. In your weekly report, you've mentioned Firehouse Subs. And for the residents that aren't aware, Firehouse Subs is coming to Villa Park, and I've asked for a quick little update on the status of where we're at with that. We get weekly updates from the manager, and this is something that has been in our report, so I wanted to put it out there.
Well, thank you. I think what we could do is introduce Director Yee to kind of bring us up to speed on the Firehouse Subs. I know the sign is in the window of the vacant entity right now, announcing that it's coming, which is next door.
Firehouse Sub is coming to Villa Park. They're tentatively looking to open on November 18th. They have not finalized. They've been negotiating their lease. It hasn't been signed when I talked to them a week ago, but they anticipate getting it signed very soon. So they're working at it. Our fire department has already donated a number of fire items because they use local items for decor, and also we'll be providing some pictures for them, and maybe they'll be using those as decorative items in the restaurant. And they're very excited about coming to Villa Park. They also have a fund where they support different fire agencies in and around the country. So it'll be a great addition to Villa Park.
Nice. I think I saw 100 West Roosevelt Road. Is that
Yes,
where it's located?
That's where
going
the
to be?
courtyards. Pardon?
Is it?
East.
Okay.
Next to Outback.
Oh, next to Outback Steakhouse.
Yes,
Okay.
in that same shopping center with
Okay,
the
great.
Outback and the Honey Baked Ham.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, we're excited. I'm sure there will be a grand opening and all that fun stuff, but
Right. And
thanks.
then while I'm up here, also Thursday, we have the grand openings for 3 of the new businesses
Yes.
down along Park Avenue, which is the CU Latte, Lifeline, and Speed Tech.
Yes, yes. Thank you for mentioning that. Appreciate it. And thank you to the fire department for donating items for the new restaurant. It's very nice. Also, I've had a number of residents ask about the status of the Metra parking phone app, so we can get a quick little update on that.
Yes, the police department has been placing brochures on windshields in the Metro parking lot. We're going to go live on September 16th, a week from today.
Oh, good. September 16th live. Great. how will we get the word out? We're doing the brochures, but will there be something on the website too, and maybe something that folks that don't have access to the web can access through the
I think
village
they'll
hall?
probably do another distribution on the windshields, and then probably some sort of nixle or constant contact. to
Okay.
Remind everybody.
Okay, great, yes, Chief
Yeah,
Pavlicek.
there's signs for the parking going up, hopefully this weekend.
Oh, good.
And the signs, I also have a phone number to call, and you can call in and go through auto prompts to put what lot you're in and what space you're in. So if people don't have the smartphone app, they can do it by telephone as well.
And the purpose of this app is so they can pay for their Metra fees.
Pay for the
basically
parking
right there.
fee with the convenience of doing it electronically. If you're running late, if you didn't get a chance to stop and pick one up, you can take care of it.
That's fabulous. Great, thank you so much. And then, in terms of businesses, I'm sorry I didn't put all this together. We've got Crazy Pour coming to Villa Park, where the Tavern on North is currently located. And so just wondering if we could get an update on when they're planning on opening. It's going to be a sports bar with microbrews, like 40 different varieties of beer, all sorts of stuff. So, sorry,
Yes,
Mamie, to bring you back up
no
here.
problem. Happy to do it. What was formerly Tavern on the North, it's still the same ownership, but they're have a new concept, and it's the Crazy Pour will be looking to open, grand open at the end of this month. They may do a soft opening around the 17th, 18th of September. So what they will have is it'll be a microbrewery sports bar, and they will have 40 on-tapped microbrewery beers, and they've brought in 4 large projection TVs, and they have pool tables. I think it's going to be an exciting and great concept, and it will be a very good concept. What the owner has done is he's brought on new managers, and the managers currently operate an existing business called Overtime, which is currently in Lombard. So they've been operating that business for about 8 months, but the managers have about 25 years of experience operating restaurants and bars, and so I think it'll be a great thing to have them open up and bring additional traffic, and the microbreweries are quite popular now.
Yes, and there's a banner signage right outside the location
Yes,
announcing
and I
the
think
coming
their
soon.
signs are hopefully going to be put up in the next week or two.
Okay.
So they're working very hard to get that open.
Great, thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, and just a couple street updates. We hired a company, Infrastructure Management Systems, to take a survey of every single street in Villa Park. They drove every single street. Took them a number of weeks to get it done, so I've asked the manager to kind of give us a quick update on where we're at with that.
Well, that unit has actually toured the village using the Dynaflex machine. We're right now we're at the process of doing some laser testing, and then after that, another firm will analyze the data and prioritize the roadways based on their findings. So we're probably a few weeks away.
And it's been since about 2006, 2007 since we've done this, so it was time to go back and take another look at our streets, because we know we have street issues, so this is going to help us plan for the future. And well, we're working on it. We're working on it. Yes, Trustee Case has a question.
Did we really need to hire a firm? Seriously, I mean.
For this, well, I'll let the manager respond.
That's
to
a
that,
good
but I
question
see what you're
because,
going.
I mean, as we look at some of our streets, we know they need to be redone, but we're looking at doing heat scarification. We're looking at doing some other things, that like some overlays, and we're going to prioritize those to make our money go further. And especially with heat scarification, you can actually grind it up, heat it, and put it right back down to save, transporting it off-site. So we're going to take a look at a lot of these measures, and just every single road isn't going to be a total reconstruction. For instance, North Michigan, $976,000, but if we could do a heat scarification for, say, $225, why not? So they'll prioritize us and tell us which streets are good candidates to do what, and I anxiously wait because we never have enough money for roads. You can never have enough, so we'll see what happens.
And the list will be on the village website too, once the report's all compiled, so that'll be available for viewing. And then speaking of North Michigan, it's underway, and just want to make sure that we're on target. It's a 4 to 5 month project. Weather pending, of course. You never know when we're going to be throwing a curveball with the weather, but from all indications, we're on target for that timeline.
We're sort of on target. Right now, they're working with the residential sanitary sewer connections. About 31 of them they're readjusting and working with, so it's kind of a slow, tedious process when you do that. So we've had 2 teams out there doing it. I think we're going down to 1 team this week, so it's going to slow up a little bit. So hopefully we can get them done and then get into the fun stuff.
Sounds like we're still staying on target.
We're sort of on target.
And then any updates on IDOT and the Ardmore Avenue streetscape project? I know we were in the middle of engineering phase 2. Just want to
Yes.
make sure that's moving along too.
Our Phase 2 paperwork has been submitted to IDOT, and we're waiting for the notice to proceed. Once that happens, we'll start the design.
Any indication when? I know IDOT kind of runs on their own schedule, but have we heard anything?
We have not heard, but we can follow up this week and see if we can push them along.
Yeah.
If that's possible.
Let's give them a jingle. All right. And then I just have a couple more things. I would like to just share my condolences to the family of our part-time police officer, Dan Gillen. He passed away last week from a tough battle from cancer. I attended his wake, and I have to say I was so impressed with the love and support that our part-time officer had from the community, from our officers from Villa Park, and also from other communities that came out to pay their respects to Dan and his family. It's a big loss. Great guy. We were very lucky to have him for 20 years. He was a young guy with triplets under 10. So my heart goes out to his family and also to the family he had at the Villa Park Police Department. So my heart really goes out to you. Also, just want to lighten it up a little bit, and great Oktoberfest this weekend. Want to thank everybody for coming out. It seemed like a really big group. I was out there on Saturday night and again on Sunday, and just a very good time, and just hats off to the staff for the hard work they put into the event, along with the volunteers and the sponsors and just all the hands on deck that it took to make that event happen. It was a very, very, very good time. So with that, we'll move on to public comments on agenda items number 2 on the formal. This is in regards to agenda items 3 through 9 on the formal agenda. If anybody has anything on your mind, you can come to the podium. Try to keep your comments to 3 minutes. So does anybody have any questions or comments on agenda items? Okay. All right. Item number 3, consent agenda. Minutes from village board meeting for August 26, 2013. Minutes from village COW for August 26, 2013. Do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Madam President,
Trustee Davis? Do
make a motion.
I have a second?
Madam President,
Trustee Taglia.
I will second.
Questions and comments from the board? Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bullwinkle?
Yes. Item number 4, first reading of an ordinance approving a contract for garbage, brush, landscape waste, and recyclable material collection service by and between the Village of Villa Park and Roy Strom Refuse Removal Service Incorporated. The refuse contract between the Village of Villa Park and Roy Strom was up for renewal on June 30th, 2013. The village has renegotiated a new contract which would extend over a period of 5 years commencing on July 1st, 2013 and terminating on June 30th, 2018, with a renewal option being granted for an additional 5 years at the sole discretion of the village. Staff recommends that the village president and board of trustees approve a resolution renewing the contract between the village and Roy Strom. Do I have a motion on item number 4?
Madam President,
Trustee Taglia.
I'll move for the first reading.
Do I have a second?
Madam President,
Trustee Wagner.
I'll second that motion.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Madam President,
Trustee Davis.
is there any changes in the contract? Anything that we should be aware of, or the public should be aware of?
Manager Peter?
Thank you, Your Honor. Actually, there is. I believe it's a very advantageous contract for the village. from several aspects. We have the opportunity to commence a recycling program, and we've called it a pilot program. So if we as a village go from 5 days of collection to 4 days of collection, the residents receiving collection on Friday would be rolled in Thursday. Those folks would be called a pilot program for recycling and receive free 64-gallon containers to increase recycling and decrease the amount of refuge going to our landfills. Additionally, we've negotiated that to attempt to increase recycling and decrease refuge, that throughout the village on a quarterly basis, if we're able to increase recycling for 5 pounds and decrease refuge by 5 pounds, that the residents located in Villa Park would receive a 0.5% discount for the next quarter. And then obviously the next quarter we would look back and see if the 5 pounds remained at that threshold, increased or decreased. But that's very advantageous for the discount. I'm very excited about it. It's a very beneficial contract for 5 years. Increases the first year 4.23%. The years after that, it's 4%. The last contract, the increases were 3.6%. But over the 5 years, the cost still remains under $20, and what is picked up does not change. So it's a very good contract for the village. Thank you, Your Honor.
So it's just the Friday people that will be the test pilot?
At this time, it's the Friday people. If we have the opportunity to go from Thursday to Wednesday, could be a second pilot program. We were in discussions about that, but we want to test out the Friday-Thursday program before we roll out a second one and see how it goes. But the 64-gallon containers, as you well know, do well, really increases recycling. In my home, we use 2 containers. I probably should switch to a 64, but very advantageous for the village.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? Trustee Case.
I don't know who can answer this for me. I'd like to make a motion, just skip the second reading and go right to the third reading. I need a next agenda.
We don't have to.
Second reading.
We can go second reading. I would really like to respond that, especially for a contract, that we could do both first and second. But I'm reticent because the agenda says first reading, and so the public has been led to believe it'll be discussed one more time. Maybe we should review, manager review, when you want to do a first and second on contracts. It may not be necessary. Would be for the future.
Yes, please, Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. And just to kind of tail into that, we might be able to maybe slip it underneath the consent agenda next meeting, which is September 23rd, and just not have a reading, just be under consent. We've already went through the committee hall. We've already had the first reading. Second reading should be a breeze. It's a fantastic contract, and just do it that way.
Save some paper.
Okay.
And that would serve as a second reading, too.
Yes.
So we would still have that second reading.
It would just be on the consent.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other board members? Okay. Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to also add another aspect to the contract is that they're going to provide 25,000 magnets to help folks know what items can be recycled, and I think that's a great thing. At our last meeting, I brought my recycling magnet from when we rolled out curbside recycling back in 1990, I think it was. So I think that'll be a great help, and I also want to applaud them and what they do in the community to educate young people, and so that's all I have.
Manager Keenan?
And that's a very good point, Trustee Wagner. In fact, in my household, I did not understand or realize that we could recycle bottles, so glass. Just think of the weight of that. So if we start recycling glass and move it into the recycle and take it out of the refuge or garbage can, just think about the weight difference, because those bottles weigh quite a bit. So looking forward to that discount. Thank you, Your Honor.
But the residents are too. Yeah. Yes. Anybody else? Any other? Questions or comments from the board? Okay. I just want to say thanks for being such great stewards to our community, and Karen from your staff was out at Oktoberfest this weekend. She's pretty much everywhere. She attends pretty much all of our Environmental Concerns Commission meetings, and so she's very active, and we do appreciate her activity with our community. So I don't know if there's anything else that, yeah, if you would like. I'm looking at George Strom from from Roy Strom.
I'm George Strom with the Roy Strom Company. First off, I want to thank the board and everybody here and the residents of Villa Park for allowing us to serve the village for the past 3 years. It's been our pleasure, obviously, and we look forward to serving you for the next 5 years. Some of the things I just wanted to mention about the agreement or renewal that I think are exciting. When Rich and I sat down several months ago, began this process. And even before that, one of the major things that we had talked about in the long run had been increasing recycling participation and awareness throughout the village. When we had met with the Environmental Concerns Committee with Trustee Wagner, one of the things they had mentioned was they wanted to increase awareness. And what could we do? A lot of things that we did right away were very small. I mean, participating at Oktoberfest, at Joyful Traditions, and things of that nature. Some of the smaller things that we could do with, I guess you'd say, little investment in a sense. But with this renewal of the contract, we're looking for something that will really affect all the residents of Villa Park. The 25,000 magnets, I think, are key. I spoke with Karen today about the experience that she had at Oktoberfest, and one of the things that we all have already done is we donated I believe there's 64-gallon recycling bins for the village to use at every public function that they would like to use them at. And they have some information on the top of the lid of the can that speak to the residents about what you can and can't put in there and what is and isn't recycling. Some of the things she had noted to me already were some of the residents were unaware of what they could or couldn't put in there. And so I think that with the magnets being distributed throughout the village, we should see immediate increase, I would hope, in the recycling participation throughout the village. So with that, again, I thank you all for your time, and I look forward to working with you for the next 5 years. Thank you.
Yes, I've seen the recycling bins. You had them out at the gazebo, the village did, for various events, and then for the concerts in the park, and then out at Oktoberfest, too. So they're out there, and appreciate that opportunity. So any other questions or comments from the board? All right, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Item number 5 on the formal. Second reading of an ordinance, amendment number 1 to the fiscal year 2013-2014 annual budget. To better track expenses and revenues during the course of the current fiscal year, staff is introducing proposed budget amendments on a periodic basis, rather than annually. Budget amendment number 1 proposes changes in the Federal Drug Fund, DUI Technology Fund, Street Improvement Fund, and Wastewater Fund. A 2/3 vote of the corporate authorities is required to approve an ordinance for the proposed changes. I have a motion on item number 5.
Madam President,
Trustee Davis.
make a motion.
A second.
Madam President,
Trustee Taglia.
I'll second the motion.
Questions and comments from the board? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Item number 6, second reading of an ordinance adding to the offense of bullying and harassment to the Villa Park Municipal Code. Every person is valued and respected regardless of perceived differences, and many communities throughout the United States are taking steps to ensure that their citizens live in safe, non-hostile environments. Bullying and harassment disrupt safe environments and interfere with one's ability to succeed or excel within the village. Staff requests that the village board discuss passing an ordinance which would help regulate bullying and harassment in order to ensure that everyone is able to participate in or benefit from programs, activities, work sites, and opportunities offered in the village. I have a motion on item number 6.
Madam President.
Trustee Taglia?
I'd like to move for the second reading.
Do I have a second?
Madam President,
Trustee Davis.
second that.
Okay. Questions and comments from the board?
Madam President,
Trustee Taglia.
There's a really good website. It's called Be a Star, and STAR stands for Show Tolerance and Respect. It's a program that's for parents, for teachers, and for students. It has a lot of good educational resources available there, a lot of good advice and strategy. Something that's very unfortunate about bullying is the kids can do it on the internet now through social media, through blogs and websites. And unfortunately, a lot of young adolescents, when they suffer this type of humiliation and abuse, they often turn to suicide. And it's a really big problem. And I appreciate the board for taking this up. And I hope that it passes. So.
Questions and comments from the board? I just have a really quick one. I'm glad to see this moving forward, and I mentioned an article that I saw in the Tribune. It was in the middle of August. The city of Wheaton found themselves in a little bit of trouble because they had a bullying issue going on within their staff, and nothing was being done about it. And now they're grappling with and trying to figure out what they're going to do as a community, as a board in Wheaton to deal with those issues. And so it's pretty exciting to sit up here to present just one example of being proactive in our community, trying to tackle an issue that hits everybody at some point in their lives, regardless of age, regardless of what you look like. And so this is meant to protect all of us, you know. So there's good intentions behind this ordinance, for sure. So with that, I'd like to call for a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
President Vogelsong.
Yes. Item number 7, second reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the Fire Prevention Code, deleting the requirements for automatic sprinkler systems in a single-family residence. The village has decided not to require the installation of automatic sprinkler systems in a single-family home. Pursuant to Section 55 of the Illinois Building Commission Act, the village has given notice of the intended adoption of these codes to the Division of Building Codes and Regulations of the Capital Development Board more than 30 days before the adoption of this ordinance. Staff recommends that the President and Board of Trustees adopt this ordinance.
Madam President?
Yes.
I want to point out, I want to add for consideration as part of the board, the ordinance that was included in the packet did not go far enough to name specific code sections. And we really do not want to have language that may conflict. And so for that reason, I am asking that you table this matter before you have a motion to approve, that you table this matter to the very next meeting. We've got it rewritten, we will distribute it to you and give you an opportunity to ask any questions. But we want to make it as detailed as possible so there's no confusion.
With that, I have a motion to table this item.
Madam President,
Trustee Wagner.
I'll make a motion to table.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Madam President?
Is that Trustee Taglia?
I'll second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions and comments?
No questions and comments.
Nope.
Motion to table.
Okay, all right, then we'll go right to roll call vote.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
You got yourself a deal.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
President Vogelsong.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item number 8, resolution approving an agreement for website design and programming services between the Village of Villa Park and Civic Plus. Due to the limited functionality of our current village website, the Village of Villa Park obtained and reviewed proposals from firms for the redesign of the village's website. This redesign includes consulting services, setup, programming, and training services for the village staff. This resolution would formally approve a contract between the Village of Villa Park and Civic Plus for the redesign of the village website and authorize Village Manager Richard Keener to execute said contract on behalf of the village. The cost will be $34,232, paid over the course of 4 annual installments. Do I have a motion on item number 8?
Madam President,
Trustee Trustee Taglia.
I'll move for the resolution.
Do I have a second?
Madam President,
Trustee Wagner.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any questions and comments from the board? All right. Roll call vote.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
President Vogelsong.
Yes. Item number 9 on the formal. Resolution authorizing Halloween trick-or-treat hours. By adopting this resolution, a uniform time is recommended for the event, therefore allowing the police department to increase patrol for the purpose of protecting the children who are participating in the Halloween festivities, as well as to protect the community from vandalism that can be associated with the Halloween holiday. It is recommended that the village board adopt by resolution the official trick-or-treat hours of 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Thursday, October 31st, 2013. Can I have a motion on item number 9?
Madam President,
Trustee Taglia.
I'll move for the resolution.
Do I have a second?
Madam President?
Trustee Davis.
Second.
Questions and comments? All right, roll call vote.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Item number 10, Village Clerk's Report. Clerk Kornecki, you have anything for us tonight?
I do. I have a couple things from the Senior Concerns Commission. 2 announcements for our senior community. On September 18, the SALT meeting will be held at the Community Recreational Building. Officer Tyson Johnson, the program set up. There will be a luncheon provided by the commission following that. And then the next Wednesday, on the 25th, there will be a luncheon meeting hosted by the Senior Concerns Commission, and the guest speaker, as well as some staff, will be John Valley, York Township Supervisor. Both events are free. They're both at the Community Recreation Building on Wildwood and open to the senior community. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Kornecki. Appreciate it. Item number 11, unfinished business, none. Item number 12, new business, none. Item number 13, public comments on non-agenda items. If there's anybody from the public who wish to speak on non-agenda items, please approach the podium and state your name and sign your name in there for the record, and try to keep your comments to 3 minutes. Hi, John.
John Squeal, North Side resident of Villa Park.
What do you have on your mind tonight?
Everybody hear me okay? Speak up. I'm working in a very dry environment. So. I'm going to talk about a couple comments that were made at the meeting 2 weeks ago about the north side of Villa Park. I'm going to touch on some state level government issues real quick as well. 2 weeks ago, a very nice resident in town kind of commented on seemed like north side of Villa Park is more dangerous than any other areas or something in that manner. Although I've had my share of some problems up there. I travel all the areas that get discussed regularly, Division Street, certain areas on Ardmore. I visit the 7-Eleven pre-dawn hours. I can say I don't feel threatened every day, and I don't think it's any different than any other town. And presentation that Chief Pavlicek gave last week I thought was great. I want to thank him for that. And resident also kind of addressed some issues, kind of profiling, categorizing a particular group of dogs in the area where there might have been a problem. Profiling, canine, human, or otherwise, is something I don't care for. And if there's an individual issue there, then it can be addressed simply. There's no reason to group anybody or any animal in a category to try to create any kind of hysteria or knee-jerk reaction in any way to create any hoopla. I mean, it's been done before. It's urban legend, and we had that issue brought up months ago about somebody threw gym shoes over a light pole, and next thing you know, we're having all kinds of issues in town, and Chief Pavlicek kind of put it in perspective and calmed everybody down. So no reason to overreact. And north side of Villa Park has many, many great things, many great areas, many great people. And a lot of streets got fixed on the north side, but nobody says they want to go there and look at them. So I talked about that in the past, including my street. So state level government, I want to talk about something. Governor Quinn, which doesn't get complimented very often. Governor Quinn supports dogs and police. Illinois is the most humane state in America. Governor Quinn passed a bill mandating training for police. This is going to be good for police, residents as well. There's been a large amount of shootings of people's canines by police officers around the country. And through lack of information and training, sometimes things happen like this. And I'm going to go back to the early 2000s. I actually had some information I shared with one of the trustees. When Governor Ryan, along with Tom Dart and Midwest Government Affairs Office in Southern Illinois, Granite City, Alton, Illinois, started a voluntary program for police officers to learn how to deal with canine situations. They don't know how to read language sometimes, and we've gone all the way back to 2002, and we've come this far where the state of Illinois, now along with Colorado, is working with police. They're not taking away their powers, but they're helping them educated. And down south, when they started this, the police volunteered for this, and they really liked it because humane law wasn't really part of the criminal code. So they say, and they weren't really aware of some things. This helps them monitor cruelty as well as how to read body language by dogs when they intervene in any situation. And it's going to be a good thing for the state. And Governor Quinn, along with Best Friends Society in Utah, Karen DeLeese, who's a renowned dog expert, and Letty Vankovich works for Best Friends Society as well, and they're involved in this. And I want to thank Governor Quinn, Steve Dale from Steve Dale's Pet Word as well. You know, one comment. Anybody who thinks issues like this involving dogs aren't that important, the human-canine bond goes back 6, 8, 12,000 years. Some people say remains have been found in Utah 11,000 years with canines with their families. Some are saying it may go far as back as 100,000 years. They're finding stuff in the Middle East now. So they're part of every community, and when everybody works together, everything works out very well. This is a letter from the editor from an organization called Community Oriented Policing Services. And when I mention this, I've been carrying this information around for years. I mentioned this to Chief Pavlicek several months ago. He immediately knew what it was. It's very comforting to have him here. In the United States, dogs are an integral part of society, which means police engage with dogs quite often in the line of duty. There are a variety of circumstances where a dog could be involved in a police call. It's critical that police departments not only develop effective departmental strategies, advocating for the proper handling of dog-related incidents and encounters, but also proactively create tactical response strategies, ensuring humane treatment of dogs and safety for the public. And this is what Governor Quinn is doing. He's looking for humane handling of situations, non-lethal situations, and this is what this is about. This is a good thing. So I'm very proud to have Governor Quinn handling that, and it's going to work out well.
Thank you, John, for bringing it forward.
I have a few
Appreciate
more
it.
things if I have some time.
We're getting tight on time now, so yeah. If
Real
you have
quick.
anything else that you'd like to share, I'd be happy to
if you-
take it and talk to you afterwards, or?
Last week, I was presented with Villa Park Police as well as the fire department.
Yeah? Oh,
Rescued
yes.
a dog, and wouldn't you know, it's a little bully breed. All those people are concerned. I was presented with this. They used an apparatus that I inquired with the fire chief, Rakosnik, back in the spring, and he assured me we had that, and
There you go.
there you go. Public should feel safe. The police and the fire department did a great job on this, and I got some other stuff that's really good. But I've
Yeah.
accumulated a lot of speaking minutes over the years I haven't used.
Well,
Next Saturday,
we'll catch you.
Operation Vestum, Chicago Police, having a fundraiser to purchase some bulletproof vests for their canine dogs. They only need 2 more. It's
Okay.
next Saturday. It's on Found Chicago is the organization. 4108 North Rockwell, 12 to 2. If you didn't get enough fun at Paws event in Villa Park, Carroll Stream Park Fest, 9:15, Carroll Stream. SaveEvent.org is having a pub crawl. By the way, Carroll Stream Police do a very good job publishing a very nice
Yes, we do.
group of information and very good event. A lot of things coming up in September.
Thank you, John.
Barkapalooza, 929 on Lyle. Anybody who's concerned about canines, tomorrow night on Animal Planet, Hero Dogs of 911, 8 p.m. I believe it's on. Okay. If it doesn't bring a tear to your eye, I'll be surprised. Animal Planet, 8 p.m. Tuesday night.
I watched that.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I do watch that.
And
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you
Villa Park
very much.
Police And the Villa Park Fire Department.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Anybody else from the public would like to speak on non-agenda items? Okay. Item number 14, Village Manager's Report. What do you have tonight?
Your Honor, I just have a couple of things. I wanted to compliment our staff, which worked the Oktoberfest over the weekend. Received compliments about our police department. Received compliments about our staff from the Parks and Rec. Wanted to pass that along. I think it was very well attended, the event. I'm very happy I didn't receive any complaints, so it's awesome. But I was there with my family. The rides were very well done. I noticed that the police were in their zones and talking to the residents. I think the residents just loved it. Our staff for Parks and Rec were operating some tents. The library actually did a survey. They manned a tent. Parks and Rec staff was picking up debris that was kind of blowing around. Did a fantastic job. So thank you, staff, and pass it along. Also participated this weekend on Paws on the Path along with John, and I really enjoyed it. Didn't get to adopt a husky. My wife put her foot down.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. So, but it was great. My hat's off to all the volunteers and to folks that were there. My dog actually got a hold of his treats that I bought and ate them all in one sitting. So, but hide those next year. We do have an updated legislative update that came via email. I'll put this on the website. Probably sometime this week. One of our staff had a death in the family, so we're going to be a little bit slower than usual than putting things on the website. So, thank you, Your Honor.
Very welcome. Thank you. Village Attorney's report?
No report.
Okay. Item number 16, Village Trustees report. Start with Trustee Taglia.
Okay, again, I just want to thank everyone who was involved with the Oktoberfest. Everyone had a great time. Everyone, the volunteers, the employees of the village, everyone did a wonderful job. We had a great weather weekend, so it turned out perfect. Also, the Paws on the Path was wonderful. My dog enjoyed it. So thanks to John. He's got a good dog. My dog and his dog are friends, so it was good to see Jimmy out there. Yeah. And then I want to give a shout out to Villa Park's finest police and firefighters. There's no doubt in my mind we have some of the best men and women that are available. And if you doubt that, just dial 911. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Case?
Nothing tonight.
Okay. All right, Trustee Davis?
Nothing tonight. I can't find an email, so I'll have to skip.
Oh, okay. Trustee Wagner?
Thank you, Madam President. I would also like to offer kudos to the Park and Rec Department on Oktoberfest, and would also like to recognize the members of the Environmental Concerns Commission who spent part of Saturday and Sunday doing a little survey, educating residents. We mentioned Karen Ryan was there, and also the folks from the Prairie Food Co-op were there promoting their event, their Harvest Festival on Saturday, September 21st, which is going to be from 4 to 7 p.m. In Lombard. It's a Victorian house across from the Helen Plum Library. So if you go to their website, you can get all the details. And that's all I have.
Thank you. All right. Item number 17, information only, bill listing dated September 9th, 2013, in the amount of $189,800.18. Any questions from the board about the bill listing? Okay. With that, item number 18, adjournment. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Madam President,
Trustee Wagner.
I'd like to make a motion to
Okay.
adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Madam President?
Trustee Taglia.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we are adjourned. Yeah.